Welcome to Brand Lover, honest, real and lively conversations for flourishing entrepreneurs and budding business owners on a mission to cultivate a heartfelt brand that connects with their purpose-driven mission. My hope is that you walk away feeling inspired and refreshed with a weekly takeaway in your back pocket that you can apply to your life or business. Hello, welcome to another episode of Brand Lover. I have a little treat for you today. I'm so excited about it because I'm going to be sharing a recording of me being interviewed by my beautiful friend Sandra Julian. I had the pleasure of appearing on her podcast recently, and it's all about exploring my journey from one-on-one studio to becoming a mentor and I guess creating this incredible brand ecosystem with my range of products, so digital products. So sit back, pour yourself a cup of tea, have a listen, and I'd love to hear your thoughts, or if you have any questions, head on over to Instagram, RachelWriter_brand mentor, and say hi. Enjoy.
Kia ora. Welcome to Business Your Way, a podcast where I take you behind the scenes and look at the strategies, systems and support needed to grow and scale an online service business. Because you deserve a business that doesn't feel like work, one that gives you energy and the resources to do what matters most to you. Whether it's figuring out where to spend your time, how to maximize your profitability, or streamlining your processes so things get done quickly and efficiently, my guests and I, we've got you covered. I'm your host, Sandra Julian, Indigenous mama of three, fashion-loving sewist and business strategist. Each week, I want to help you dream big, plan well, and do the work to grow and scale your business your way. Welcome to episode 9 of Business Your Way. Today I'm chatting with Rachel Writer of Hopscotch Branding Studio. Rachel and I met at the beginning of 2020 when we both joined the Inner Circle Mastermind. And I've seen Rachel's business flourish as she has scaled her business with an online course and membership. Rachel is the most talented designer and produces the most beautiful, heartfelt brands for her clients. She is just a phenomenal illustrator and designer. And I would highly encourage that you go and follow her on Instagram, where she shares all of her illustrations. Well, she shares a behind the scenes sneak peek at the brands that she's creating for her clients and what she's putting into her membership every month. So go and follow Rachel on Instagram. I'll pop her Instagram handle in the show notes for you. And can I get you to do me a favor? Take a screenshot of this episode and share it over on Instagram. Tag Rachel, tag myself, and tell us something that you particularly enjoyed about today's episode. Alrighty, that's enough from me. Let's get into the conversation. Hey Rachel, welcome to the Business Your Way podcast. Lovely to have you here.
Thank you so much, Sandra. It's really lovely to be spending some time with you again.
I know, I've been looking forward to this part of my day all day. I would love if you could introduce yourself, what you do, who you serve, and how you make your moolah.
I would love to. So I'm Rachel Writer. I am primarily the brand stylist and mentor behind Hopscotch Branding Studio, where I serve flourishing female online entrepreneurs to create heartfelt brand personalities that ideally attract their perfect dream customers and align with their purpose-led vision. I'm also the founder of a signature branding course called Brand Alchemy and a monthly membership called the Branding Hub, which guides and supports passionate women in business to create an authentic and intentional brand. And I also now have a mini course called Design Whiz, which is a recent addition to my little family. So that's about it, really.
Nice. And you make your moolah by one-on-one services as well as
Yeah.
your digital products?
Yes. So one-on-one services, creating heart-aligned brand identities, and sort of servicing those clients long term as well, always up leveling, elevating, evolving their brands as they go and, along their business journey. I love to be able to support them in that way. And yes, I also have a range of complementary digital programs, I suppose, that I mentioned, a couple of courses
Mm.
and membership.
So I know when we met, you were just beginning your digital journey. So you already had Hopscotch Branding Studio doing amazing one-on-one work helping people with their brands.
Yes.
What made you take the journey into digital products? What kind of piqued your interest to move that way with your business?
Yeah, and that's a really good question. So I had reached the point in the studio, the one on one services, that I felt maxed out. And I felt like my growth was capped because I was at the point where I was booked out, and I was booked out for months in advance, which I'm so grateful for. Like, it was literally a dream come true because that was my vision. That was my original vision when I set out to create this branding studio. And that was a journey in itself. But I got to the point where, I was recognized, I was known, I had a really beautiful reputation that I had to be able to cultivate. And I was attracting really aligned clients, which I loved working with, and I still do. But I didn't want to stop. I didn't want to stop growing. I guess it becomes a little bit of an addiction. And I just sort of because I was doing some reflection work, and I realized that I had met that vision. And so it was time to recast the vision for the brand. But I didn't really understand the options. I didn't really ever think about creating a course. I'd never considered it before. It wasn't ever part of the plan until I asked a question in a coaching group, and the coach basically just said, it's time to smash through the glass ceiling. There are a number of ways to do that. I had thought about the agency option. I had thought about renting a studio somewhere local and hiring some other graphic designers. I had tried subcontracting before. It just didn't ever work. And I don't know, like, I'm sure there's reasons for that. But, when you go down a path and the door seems to just be closed, and so you keep trying to open other doors. So this is sort of where I was at. I had explored that and realized that it wasn't in line with my lifestyle. That's probably a whole nother conversation. But yeah, so going back to the story, she said, you can hone in on what's working in your business and what you can replicate to be able to teach that to other people. Does that make sense? To take whatever's working, whatever it is, something that's working that you're able to teach to others so that you can help them along in their journey. And that sort of got me thinking about what really was working for me in my process, I suppose. And at the time, what really stood out to me was the actual brand foundation strategy process that I take all of my clients through at the very beginning so that we can work out how we're going to communicate and translate their brand visually. So that's how my course was born, Brand Alchemy. So I
Hmm.
just decided to create a course. I had no idea how to do it. So, so that's when I met you. That's where I was at.
Ah, and
Yeah.
so did you have an idea of who you were going to teach? Like, were you going to teach business owners how to do that? Like, so the same people that were coming to you for your one on one work, were you going to
Mhm.
teach that? Or did you have a thought that you would teach other designers?
Mm.
how to level up their processes in their work?
Well, I'm sure that was an option, but it wasn't actually anything that I considered. It was more about I just, I get such a thrill from seeing other business owners truly understanding their brand in a way that gives them so much clarity and confidence to be able to grow their business and communicate their message really clearly and really step into an authentic brand that is truly aligned for their perfect customers. And so that was, you know, my clients that I work with one on one, they've usually been in business a number of years and they realize that something's missing when it comes to their brand. They can never quite put their finger on it. Everything's all over the shop. They're tired of DIY and they sort of come to me and go, Rach, I need everything to be seamless and I'm just not connecting with my existing brand. Let's, step into the future. And I wanted to serve that person, but I wanted to serve that person at the start of their journey so that they can skip that whole messy guessing phase so that I can give this gift to new business owners to help them find that brand clarity, even if they can't sort of yet afford to work with a brand designer for all of the assets and elements and everything that goes along with it, but they have got their core, they truly understand their brand and it sort of almost helps them to fast track their business success because they're so clear by doing the course. And that's who I'm serving. I'm serving an earlier version of the people that I work with one-on-one.
That's so good. Did you have that clarity when you were back in the beginning of, okay, I'm going to do a digital course? Did you have that clarity that it was the earlier version of your current clients or like
Yes.
so
Yes.
good.
Yes, because I'm very connected to my client avatar and that's part of the process that I take my students and my clients through and I believe that to be able to teach something you really have to truly believe in it yourself and action it yourself. And so I'm constantly refining my own client avatar, even if it's just in my head, like I feel like she's part of me now and I just constantly have conversations about her. Or if somebody who fits that persona really well asks a certain question or reacts a certain way, that's something that I can bank away and consider for future offers or how I'm speaking to her in my marketing and that type of thing. And so, so when I create any of my programs, I create a persona that's going to be perfect for that program. So I have an overall client avatar and then I have sort of, I guess, sub versions. And it seems to be, for me anyway, the same person, but just at different stages of their journey.
Oh, that's so like I can just feel all of that happening and I'm like the clarity that brings with it
Yeah.
must be phenomenal for your business.
Yeah, it's good for me.
Yeah.
Because I feel connected.
Yeah.
And whenever I am at a point where things don't seem to be working or I don't feel connected to what I'm putting out there, then it's time to just have a revisit and review a brand reviews. I think are incredibly useful and powerful, and they don't necessarily have to be a really big deal, but even just giving it, some journaling and reconnecting is really important.
How do you organize your avatar information? So, do you have a one sheeter that's like everything you know about your avatar, or do you have like a spreadsheet and you're like, this is my avatar's desires and these are my avatar's struggles? How do you organize all of
Yeah,
that
it sort of
information?
starts off like that. Like there's prompts, including all of, the pain points and all that sort of stuff. And so the idea is to sort of take those points as bullet points and then craft just a paragraph. Well, it ends up being more than a paragraph usually. And it's almost like a journaling exercise, and then just really getting into her head, or his head, I guess, depending on your business. But yeah, so I sort of through the course, I have pillars that your client avatar should tick the box for, and then we move into sort of demographics and all that sort of stuff if it's relevant. Sometimes things aren't relevant to what you're selling or what your offer is, and then you sort of just hone in on the things that really are. And I think that's where the clarity is found. But also something that I find really useful, and it's part of the brand alchemy process, is that once you do that and you have that profile, is I sort of have like a day in the life of. And so, like, I like to sort of imagine what she's doing at, I don't know, 7 o'clock in the morning. Like, is she a type of person to sleep in, or does she check her phone? Is she addicted to that? Is she off for a run, or, what sort of gets her going in the morning? And then how does a day flow? Like, because the day of a busy mom is going to be different to the day of an empty nester. And you really got to be in tune with that. And I think that even helps you get to know them even more, and it brings up some more ideas about how you can connect with that person, be more relatable, or even just what time's best to reach them on social media and that type of thing.
So good, Rachel. So good. You just talk about that effortlessly. It's like so inspiring.
Oh, thanks. I love it.
Yeah. And I can tell that you really do. It's just like, just rolls off your tongue. So, headed down the track of digital products into your business, how has that affected your one-on-one services? Are you now doing less one-on-one now that you've got digital products? How is that mix affected?
When I first started doing the course, obviously I was live launching it and running it. And initially I had to create it, and that was a whole big mountain. But so obviously I was maxed out already time-wise, and then I decided to go and add this digital program, thinking, I should be right. And it wasn't. I just reached a whole new level of tired, and I wouldn't say I was burnt out, because I'm very conscious of that, but it was a stretch for sure. And so I now take on less one-on-one work. I restructured my packages and realigned my client avatar for those, and increased my prices so that I was able to maintain the level of income, increase the level of like the experience for the people that I was working with, because I had more headspace, more creativity, and I was offering more of myself. And it's all still a work in progress, I think, as it always will be. But that's sort of I guess only would have happened because I was just, I guess, restructuring, like I was heading into this and being able and serving more in having more impact, all of those things.
So you had to realign your whole business to introduce. So it wasn't just a matter of, okay, here's my one-on-one, and now I'm going to add a digital product, and now I'm going to add a membership. Actually, it was rethink everything. So your business could still allow you to live an aligned life with a different product in the mix.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Beautiful.
And with the goal in mind, I suppose, to create more space as my family grows, because even though as like my business grew up with them, we are now in the busy years. Like, we're going to netball, and we're going to dancing, and we've got this on and that on. And and it's sort of like, even though when the kids are young and you're raising a business while you're raising babies, that's a challenge in itself, with an end goal in mind of like lifestyle balance and being able to be a stay-at-home mom and all that sort of stuff. Now it's sort of, all the business is still growing up as the kids grow up in a way that serves us as a family and allows me to be more present for them, but it amazes me because I'm serving at a higher level than what I was when I was on the mouse wheel. Like it's a true blessing. It's hard work to get there, but it's so beneficial. It's, yeah.
Do you see yourself doing less and less one-on-one work in order to really move your business into a digital business?
I think over time it will become a natural shift. It's already naturally sort of happening that way, I guess. I guess the thing I've learnt is that it's just pretty obvious really, but when you're in it, you don't really think about it. But the more you focus your energy, where the energy flows, that's where, the growth will be, and that's where the fruit will be produced. And so for so long I was placing my energy into my one-on-one work, and I feel like I've now got to the point where my process works really well and my clients are having really awesome results, and that feels, even though I guess time-wise it's still the same, it feels really easy, like it flows really well, and I get repeat work from just from word of mouth, like that side of things it's ticking along beautifully still. And so that allows me to put more energy, and I guess energy and time are not necessarily the same thing, but into, my digital programs, and that's sort of what I've been doing a fair bit the last few months even, is just tweaking behind the scenes in preparation for hopefully a period of growth in a different way.
Beautiful. I love
Mm.
how you just described all of that. I wish I had such insight when I was that, younger business owner and my kids were going through that busy phase of life.
Mm.
Because, in hindsight and looking back at my life, like I thought I had flexibility because I dropped my kids at school, I picked them up, we did all of the after school music and sport and all of that. But I felt pressured,
Mm.
to be focused on my business and to be focused on my kids and my family. And it was a lot given how crazy my life is now.
Yeah. Well, and this is like the thing, Sandra, is that I often still do. I feel that pressure. I feel that pressure, but I feel like also that when I'm feeling that way, and truthfully, that I've been feeling that way the last couple of weeks. There's been a fair bit going on for me in the business, that I have to reset my boundaries and, realign myself so that I'm focusing on what I really, really, really want my life and what I want my girl's life and my husband's life to be. And so sometimes I really do need to pull back from being so addicted to my business and remind myself that the business is the vehicle for me to allow me to be there for all of the extracurricular, and allow me to just walk the kids down to school in the morning, like that's
Mm.
why I'm doing this. So why, sometimes I have to just say, Rachel, why? Why do you feel like you have to do this? When just it doesn't have to happen right now. It's okay. I say to my clients and my students is that baby steps are still steps in the right direction. You're still going to get there. And it sometimes the timing is just not quite right. And that to just, remind myself what's important right now.
Do you have any help in your business? Do you have anyone helping you do different things, like maybe contractors?
Mhm. I have a virtual assistant. she's been a real blessing to me. And I think it's probably been about a year I've been working with her. But my husband also helps with the back end type things, the behind the scenes things. But other than that, no. That's a small little small little team. But yeah,
Mm.
it's working at the moment.
And is your VA a full-time VA or is she just part-time?
No, she
No?
just does subcontract type work.
Mm,
She works on an hourly rate and she's always there for me when I need her. So
nice.
yeah.
And she's helping you with your marketing, or she's actually helping you with
um,
just admin things that Rachel just doesn't need to do anymore?
Yeah, sort of video editing and uploading things and I guess preparing emails and that sort of thing
Mm,
for the membership. Yeah,
wow. You do a lot. Like, that's a lot. Look, one-on-one work, a signature program, a mini course, and a membership, and you are flying solo.
yeah. Well, yeah.
That's a lot.
I'm supported, but yeah, I guess so. I live in a pretty happy Rachel bubble. I like I'm incredibly introverted, so I like it works for me.
Yeah,
I just get in there and I get in the zone and I love it.
yeah.
Yeah.
What does the next 12 months hold for Rachel and Branding Studio? What does that look like?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think we're at the point of the year where I'm yet to do my planning for 2022, but I am actually the Branding Hub, the membership has been a closed membership. It's been invitation only for the last 12 months as I've been growing it and populating it with content and resources and building the culture that I really wanted to create, I guess, in the community was really important to me. So that's only been open to past Brand Alchemy students and my clients. I'm actually working on opening that as an open model. So that's a little announcement. I haven't really talked about that yet. So yeah, I think I'll be testing strategies and working at growing that. Yeah,
As a
increasing
front end as a
numbers
front end offering,
as a
yeah.
front end offering. Yeah, and I'm really excited about that because it's just to see how it's flourished in the last 12 months, not necessarily numbers wise because of the way that it has been, but seeing the results and the impact that it's having on the members is really exciting because the potential that that has for so many other women in business to me is really exciting.
Oh, that is exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do inside the Branding Hub? Like, talk us through what goes on inside the membership.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's for this client avatar again. It's for women who have established a foundational brand. They might have, they've got their logo and their colors and they've done their foundation work. They've got their mission statement and tagline, that sort of thing. So it's really holding their hand in growing their brand and keeping in alignment with that vision that they have and having an impact for the people that they are called to serve by facilitating their growth with, and I guess complementing their existing brand identity, as in their visual brand, with templates and resources. So time saving, but also embellishing. So I don't know, as you know, Sandra, I do a lot of illustration work,
Mm.
and it can, that's because it's so time intensive and it's unique and it's distinctive for my clients. It's like it's not cheap, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And so I'm able to provide in the membership access to customizable illustrations and icons and all these beautiful things that will help to communicate a really beautiful brand message for, different types of industries and brand personalities and that sort of thing, but also like Canva templates, so social templates and ebooks and lookbooks and all these things that the ladies can basically just plug and play. So that's one of the things that we offer, but we also offer a pathway, I guess, to keep stepping in alignment with your brand and really honing into different areas of your brand. For example, recently or just this week, we had a brand voice expert help the ladies craft a brand voice persona. So we actually really dug deep into, language and tone and words and how they work and how you can infuse them into how you're communicating your brand. So that's just one example of what we do. And then there's also access to me for feedback and critiques and reviews and that type of thing. But also the community is a really big aspect. Ladies are really, it's just a really nurturing environment. It's not high vibe, like cheerleader type. It's just like, here we've created this space for you to come and be vulnerable and ask questions and support each other. And it's so lovely. I love it.
Nice. Wow. And that's the point, isn't it? That you've created a community that really is aligned with what you do and who you are. And you're then going to attract that right person. So, and that sounds like that you've done that beautifully.
We're getting there. We're definitely getting there.
Nice. Awesome. So if someone wants to come and get in Rachel's world, and people, you want to come and get in Rachel's world, where can they find you, reach out to you, get all of the know about everything that's going on in your world?
Yeah, well, I guess my website's a good place to start. You can either go to rachelwriter.com or hopscotchbranding.studio. I am in the middle of consolidating both of those websites to land in the one place, which I'm very excited about. I feel like I've had, so you can find different things at both of those places, but also probably on Instagram is where I hang out the most. So Rachel Writer _ brand mentor, and Writer is REITER.
Beautiful.
I mean, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of those things. But I also recently launched a podcast. So that's a little bit exciting. Haven't really talked about that. So you can search for the podcast, which is Brand Lover with Rachel Writer. It's very new.
I love all of the namings that you come up with your products. Like when I saw you launch Brand Lover, I'm like, oh, that is so aligned with Rachel.
Thank you. That makes me happy to hear that.
Yeah, so good. All right, I'm going to put all of those things into the show notes. If someone wants to get started with their brand and kind of, do you have something for them? Do you have a checklist or a?
Yes, I have a branding success blueprint.
Yes.
Is definitely going to help them get along their way. Just to fill in the gaps, I suppose, of what it actually takes to create those really strong brand foundations that you can use as a springboard for everything else in your business. It is at rachelwriter.com /branding success. So you can go download that for free.
That's awesome. All right, everybody, go download that freebie. Whatever you get from Rachel is golden. And your podcast is also a YouTube, hey?
Yes. Also on YouTube. You can watch me sit right here and my dog in the background chatting away to different amazing guests. Yeah, just sort of talk about how they've grown their brand and the journey that they take to get there, and so many golden nuggets as well.
Yeah, and I like that. I love listening to other people, how they have taken that journey themselves in business. So like your podcast, listening to others who have taken that brand journey and how they've interpreted and the little roadblocks they've had along the way. And so that's what this podcast is all about, is where have you done in business? What does it look like behind the scenes in your business? And when you've had to make decisions, what did that look like?
So I've really appreciated our conversation today and listening to why you've chosen to go down that digital course membership pathway instead of heading, down the agency pathway, because that was another option, but that door just kept closing. And it's like, well, it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
So I've really appreciated you giving me your time and coming in and sharing your journey so others can be inspired by what you do and how you've got here and the things that you are going to do in the future. So thank you so much, Rachel.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I've actually really, really loved it.
Awesome. I'll talk to you again soon.
If you found this episode inspiring or helpful, I invite you to share the link with another woman in business or someone who needs to hear this message. Every woman we can support to grow a meaningful, profitable brand is another woman who is free to live a purposeful life for herself and be more present for her family. None of us are alone in the challenges we face in business, but the solution can start with a gift from someone else, and it could be a podcast episode just like this one. Thank you for listening.